All done? Wow. See the front row, super quick. Is this special notes for me? Or for you? This is for me. Okay. I'll do my best. Yeah.
Is that what is that?
Yes, you do. Good job. Who else wants to do this? You want to do it? You're still guessing? Yeah. Yes. Circle one. Not one that I made up.
Process of elimination.
We're all set? All right, let's give it a go. So, number one, whoa. What is going on? Okay, that's better. Okay, so let's give this one a go. I think I've got them all. Do I have them all? Okay, I just don't want to give out the answers if. Okay. First one. So this is from somewhere in here. Talked about using the book. We're going to talk about it a little bit more in a bit. Using the table of contents if you're looking for a general topic. So if I'm looking for something about random variables, I flip through and I'm like, oh, there it is. And then if you're looking for a specific topic, you're looking at the index. If you didn't know what those were. Okay, well, anyway, and then this thing was metacognition is the word that they thinking about thinking.
Bro, I got nothing right.
Wait, did you use that one there? How did you like that word? I just tried to make something up.
Wait, I didn't even see that.
Here it is. It's super.
Is that a word?
No, I made it up. Okay, let's move on before you go berserk. Okay, so we've had our quiz, and this quiz was about studying and studying well. Apparently, we didn't study too well, or maybe we need to go back and learn about reading. I really love Sandra McGuire's. I mean, it's just, I don't know, I just have so much good to say about it. Well, we'll get, oh yeah, let's do a quick preview. Since everyone wants to know what the homework is, don't worry, we're going to discuss in just a minute the stuff you read. But for Monday, so you've got a whole weekend, you've got 5 days to do this. Just give you a quick preview. Kim Phipps, excellent reading. In fact, this is, I'd say that in terms of importance, not in terms of, importance in terms of your development as a person. This is such an important concept, this idea of intellectual hospitality. So I hope you'll read this. It's so short. It's an easy read. It's really not bad. So that one, and then coupled with it, this is exciting, is you have two options to deal with Daryl Davis. You don't even have to read. You can download the podcast from wherever your favorite podcast app. Just look for Snap Judgment. You'll have to find the right one. This is a few years old. So there's an interview with Daryl Davis here. Or if you prefer to go the YouTube route, there's a YouTube TED Talk by Daryl Davis. Personally, I preferred the podcast. I liked it better. It turned out, it was just, I don't know. I felt like the story was better. It's the same basic story between the two, but you have an option there. So there's only 3 or 4 pages you have to read, and then do one of these two. They're short. It's not terribly long, 15 minutes, I think. This is even shorter, but I think this is a better, I don't know, personal preference. Okay, so what we're going to do is, I thought that it would be useful to take a look at the, in the book on page, where is it? Just a sec. Okay, I've got to cheat here and look at my notes. Page 75. Okay, I know you're saying, wait a minute, we didn't read. Yes.
Can you upload Journal Entry 5?
Is it not up there?
No, it's not up there.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been waiting.
Dude, I was trying to do it yesterday.
I'm sorry. I will do this. Let me see. This is for me. Me. That's my job. Okay, I can't do it immediately, but I'll do it after class. Yeah, oh yeah?
So when we have journals that don't have to really relate to the book, like the last one, how it was talking about our DOCM form, do you still need to relate it to the book?
No. Yeah. So yeah. As long as you're bringing this up, I'll pull this up here real quick. So the question was about the journal, and you probably figured out that there's like a, where is it here? At the end of the syllabus, it says what you're supposed to do. I'm just pulling it up here. You want to find a main idea, a strong direct statement. So this, I'll tell you right now how I'm grading these. Is I look at it, I read the first couple sentences, I'm looking for a main idea. Is there a main idea that kind of, and hopefully that'll flow through. So I look for that, and then some sort of evidence. It says quote and discuss and cite, of course, at least something from the class readings. But for your the DOCM forum, you're probably going to say something about one of the talks you went to. You'll be like, I went to this talk, it was about time management, and just do your best to remember, and you don't have to have like a reference. We're not doing APA or MLA or anything like that. So, but yeah, you don't have to necessarily, but so I'm looking for something that you're not just doing stream of consciousness. You're saying, we read this thing and it was really interesting, or you went to a talk. And then the third thing is this focus. We want a unified line of thought, so it's not just scattered. So if you do those three things, basically for me, 15, I know that the rubric seems to say, where is the rubric? Yeah, it says 15 is only for the very best, but I've been giving 15s to just about everyone. Because I don't know how to critique this stuff. Like, yeah, your writing isn't that great, but I'm not going to take off points because my writing is worse than yours. So there you go. Okay, so let's take a look. If you have your book at page 15. You don't have your book?
What is that?
You got this. It's not on page 15 in that. I don't know where it is.
You're so mad. I know you're mad.
Okay, so anyway, on page, 75. Page 75. I know it's not part of the reading for today, but this is the first half of the chapter that you read today. You read the second half of the chapter in Sandra McGuire. This is the first half, so this lays out what this what the second half was about. You'll notice that this very first thing, it has strategies for academic performance, 10 strategies to optimize academic performance. And we've already talked about previewing, preparing for active reading, paraphrasing, reading actively. So we've talked about some of that, but then you have these other things that we didn't really focus on back. Remember, we actually did this with the VE reading a week ago today. We actually did those first three things. The other ones, those were the things that were actually mentioned in the reading for today, which is on page 105 or 104. Yeah, so 103, 104, 105. So that's where you'll find that. And I don't know, that giant book, I don't know where it is in there. You'll have to find it.
No, it's so.
It's in there somewhere, though. I'll come help you in a minute when I get to the assignment. So what I'd like you to do is I've got you in random groups. Once again, I just took my Excel spreadsheet and I put you into random groups. And I've assigned each group one of the 6 items that we have not talked about yet on this list of 10. And those are items 5 through 10. Using the textbook, going to class, doing homework, teaching material to someone, working in pairs or groups, and creating practice exams. So I know that we kind of talked about this briefly, but in the reading for today, she really kind of fleshes out each one of those. So what you're to do is to take your item, for example, if you are on the working in pairs or groups, if that's your group, then you would go back here in Sandra McGuire, go find working, and I've actually got page numbers. I'm going to show you this in a minute. So you'll find that, and if you're working in pairs or groups, it's on page 110 in the middle here. Just review, because I know you've all read this probably twice, but review it just to make sure you understand what it's saying, and then prepare a short explanation for the rest of us about what it says and why it's important. So you're going to tell everyone, like, what is this? What does it mean to work? Why is it important to work in groups? What can you benefit from working in groups? That sort of thing. So if you're the working in groups group. which is kind of meta right there. So let's get back to this. So like I said, I'll show you. You'll see your names. You got to find your friends, or maybe it's your frenemy or enemy or whatever it is. Find the people in your group, discuss, and come up with a short explanation of what is it, how is it going to benefit you, and anything else that you want to talk about, I guess, is good. So here they are in all of their glory. And I guess there's one group, let's see, whoever Logan's group. So teaching, you've only got 3 people in your group. And the number here is the page number in this book where you'll find the section. So exams is on page 110 and so on. So do your best. I'll come around and help if you need help. Let me help you find your stuff here. Did you find it?
No.
Okay, I will find it for you. Oh, here we go. So this is the article that we're referring to. So wait, what are you? Oh, your exams. So that's easy. It's at the very end. Where is it? Homework. Groups. So it's generally this stuff, I think. So when you find your groups, you can use this. Get practice. It's somewhere down there. I get to go play video games. Oh, you found your group already. You've got your people. They can help you out. So you got your group. Ryan, can you read it out loud? No. Well, you probably read it all already. You might have your book homework. What section? Oh, the groups. Oh, that's a short one. Yeah. So yeah, you might skim it a second time since I know you're already familiar with it. Come up with like what is it saying? Why is it important? How can it help you? Sell it to me. Come on, you gotta sell me the idea of using groups. Right, you guys know what you're doing? What group are you? You're the textbook, so sell me the idea of using the textbook. Do your best to sell me on the idea of section. What is this group doing? This group, you're in class and notes? Class and notes? You're going to tell me why I should come to class? What I should do? Sell me on the idea of whatever it is that she's coming to. Yeah, all right. So make sure that everyone agrees with from experience. Okay, well that's good. You have first-hand experience of doing this. All right, you doing okay in this group there, Bodie? You got we're doing homework. Reading your book is a good example of doing homework and being consistent. Wait, this sounds like a group of 6. Oh, you're not combining? Wait, what is this? You're the teaching. So you're going to teach, and then you're going to make an exam. Okay, good. And you're going to sell me on this idea. Okay, good. Right. to this. Where are you? Okay. So it sounds like you're all set. You're ready to state your case. You guys both. Okay. So I want to make sure everyone has a chance. You're all set. Well, it's easy. Well, it's a complex case, but you formulate good argument. All right. So these guys are still working. So you're ready. Oh, you had. Just comes out of your brains. Very good cheese, right? This you're all set. You got your. Oh, look, he's got notes. He's ready. They look like they're still working hard. Do you have the harness that look like this? Oh, yeah. Oh, features. There's these other people like the 110. Three features for one. Yeah. All right. Well, almost everyone's ready. We'll give you guys like another 30 seconds back there to kind of finish, bring it together, and then we'll try to discuss it as a group. Logan.
He just asked you to do really? Yeah. I was like, yes, and I like just didn't, I didn't even write the medical terminology. What a he said yeah, what did you say?
All right, I think we're ready to discuss as a bigger group. I don't know if you guys want to try to make your argument from the way back. You're okay back there? In the way back. Can everyone see the textbook group back there? Makai, are you okay seeing them from back, or do you want me to call them forward? You're okay with them back there? All right, I just want to be sure. Okay, so the textbook group, the textbook group, by the way, pointed out to me that they had a hard job because notice that they had 3 pages for their one item, and here there are 3 items on 1 page. So some of you had like a really short section. But textbook people, what's so important about a textbook? Why should we care?
So that textbooks have a more in-depth, they have more in-depth examples and insights than what we typically get from just the lecture slides. So if you need a visual example of practice problem, textbook. And then for like just regular lecture slides, the teacher will sometimes just fill in the blanks of what they assume you want to, like you need to know. And sometimes they just don't explain it as well.
Yes, that's, I always feel bad though, so I end up explaining everything. But I know yeah, so if you take the class for me, you're gonna get everything. But, yeah, so there it is. Any other things? Did anyone else want to chime in?
And she ultimately says that her looking at cognitive strategies, she presented earlier, without textbook data this is impossible to do.
Okay.
She was putting more reliable activities, so you can figure out success.
Yeah, so like paraphrasing all the reading stuff. Really can't do without the. So that's from earlier. By the way, let's just pause for a minute. I'm just curious about this. Does anyone not buy their textbooks this semester? Chose not to. I mean, or rent. You know, you got buy rent. There's options now. I guess you don't have to volunteer if you don't want to, but now does anyone want to argue for not getting a textbook? All right, because she kind of she says, buy the textbook, that it's important. I should, in full disclosure, let me tell you a couple things about textbooks. I asked my math majors, these are the upper level students, about textbooks, and they said that there are some classes that they were angry about buying the textbook for because it was an expensive book, and it turned out that they never used it. I don't understand that. I will only assign textbooks that I use. So that's one thing that kind of it boggles the mind to think that a professor would pick a textbook and then never use it. So another thing is that not only do I pick textbooks for my classes, here's my probability textbook, but then I go so far as to do my best to help my students find their book cheap. This is a $250 textbook. Can you believe it? I was horrified.
I'm not paying
I know, I wouldn't either. And so you know what I did? I found sources where students could get this textbook for $30 to $40 used online. And I emailed them over the summer several times, my probability students, because I was seriously horrified that that was the case. In my calculus class, I have a textbook that students can get used for about $20. And I'm really sad that a couple of students have chosen to just get like online PDF copies. And the reason is that, especially with a calculus textbook, and you might know this from your book, like this one's black and white, it's boring. But the calculus book has some cool pictures. So as you're looking through, like trying to find the homework, you might look at some like sidebar about some cool calculus. Anyway, there's some really cool things that you can learn just by flipping through the textbook. So if you're in one of my book classes, please buy the textbook. Or if you can't, you can use Ohio. There's ways to get OhioLink. Do you know what OhioLink is? Some of you know, some of you don't. It's amazing. You can order a book from other schools all around Ohio. You could probably find this $250 book for free. I mean, it's through the library, so you have to renew it every 3 weeks or whatever it is. But you can get your books for free through the library. It's incredible if you plan ahead. So textbooks, I'm super into using textbooks. So please do buy them. Or no, don't buy them. Use them. If you can't buy them, I know it's hard because you want to buy pizza. But anyway, we're all, you're scraping by. I understand. I was like that once. I'm still kind of like that, to be honest. Okay, so let's see. Go on, textbook. Sorry, that took up a long time. Class and notes. Who's my class and notes, people? Class and notes. Wait, that's the next one back, isn't it? Okay, so talk to me about class and notes. What can you tell me about the class and notes? From the reading. From your brain, first of all, then we'll get the reading.
So you go to class because if you don't go to class and you like want to go to the exam or whatever, it'll probably take you more time to like understand what happened in class outside of class than just going to class.
Okay.
And then you take handwritten notes because your brain functions differently when you write versus when you type. So when you write stuff down, you actually remember it longer, and you can write your own stuff.
All right, very nice. Anything else from the rest of the class and notes people? Okay, just want to make sure that I don't step on your feet because I got something from here that I'm really excited about. All right, I'll go for it. So, class and notes. One of the things she mentioned is the T-zone. Did you remember the T-zone? Do you know what the T-zone is? You don't know what the T-zone is? Oh, you know. Look at this, yeah. So check it out, right here. These tables, and then right here, T-zone, right there. 1, 2, think of a big T, down the middle, along the front. That's where you want to be. You want to get an A in a class? The T-zone is where to be. So come sit in the T-zone. You're more likely to do well. I actually did a study in one of my statistics classes, and I sat people at randomly, and there was a relationship between where people sat and their grades. So you will do better if you sit up front. You will do better if you can see better, like if you don't have people in front of you. So yeah, where you sit matters. Okay, sorry, got a little excited there. Okay, where's next? Okay, homework. I'm not as excited about these things, so don't worry, I won't get as riled up. Homework, what do you think, homework people? Oh, that was a long one as well. All right, what do you got?
We just said that it's kind of like reverse engineering things, like taking something apart from like a finished product, but you should be learning it step by step and work through the issue without an end solution already given to you, because that allows you to see your mistakes and fix them along the way, and it enables you not to make that mistake again. And then doing this before the test allows you to make mistakes without losing any points. So then you need to make sure you solve your mistakes and or the problem without a guide, so you can replicate it on the test.
All right, excellent. Now, we should, in the interest of full disclosure, I should know this. Sandra McGuire is a chemist. Is that her? Is she a chemist, a scientist of some sort? So I feel like what she says about homework really applies to science and math. Like when I read over her things about homework, I thought, oh, this is perfect because that's the one I want you to do in my classes. Like she talks about looking at the answers in the back, and my students, in probability that I have just before this, they'll complain to me. They'll say I couldn't get the answer in the back. We actually found an answer that was wrong. I double checked it, and I checked with a colleague. It's the wrong answer. So even though this is the 10th edition, it still is possible that the back of the book has the wrong answer, although 10th edition, it's really shouldn't have the wrong answer. But that's what she's talking about, is back of the book in most science and math books and psychology, like all the sciences, the answers are back there for some of the questions. So you don't just use those. I mean, I want them to check their work, but and do the homework. So yeah, sorry. I guess I said I wasn't as excited, but I was a little bit excited. Let's move on. Teaching. Who's the teachers here? Teachers? Right there? Right? Oh yeah, right there. Yeah. What are you saying? What's talk to me about? What is this talking about?
It basically is just when you are, it's kind of like a form of study. So when you're trying to make sure that you know the information that you've learned, if you like teach it to other people, that'll help actually like you to learn it. And in the reading they said you could teach it to like somebody that's in the same class or somebody that's not.
Mm-hmm.
But we were saying how we think it would be more beneficial to teach it to somebody that had no idea what material it was, because then you could like make sure, like confirm with them that it made sense. But also you need to like make sure that you're actually teaching the correct information so you're not learning the wrong thing.
Excellent. Yes. So being in groups, I mean, that's stepping on someone's feet here, but doing it with someone so you can teach them, super important. I remember when I was in college, there was one semester I had 3 classes with the woman who became my wife. We weren't dating at the time, but it was physics, foundations of education, and drawing. But the physics, we used to get together for physics parties, and we would do our homework together. And I would explain it to her, and she would explain the education stuff to me. It was a good time. And so that's another thing, another reason why you might want to do these things is you might find your future spouse. But let's go on to, what are we on to? Groups? Where's my group? Groups? What's the big deal about groups?
You learn better if you do by yourself.
I guess that's it. You learn better in groups, don't you?
You can teach other people, you can learn from other people, people can correct you, you can get different opinions on things.
Oh, it's so good, isn't it? So you might have some misconceptions that get corrected. Very nice. Yeah, there's not much else to say. Do you use groups? This it's so helpful, especially in math classes, but I'm sure it's helpful in other classes. Find a group of people who will work with you because it's the best way to learn. And also you make friends and maybe you'll find that future special person. Just saying. Okay, onward. Let's get this last one out of the way. Exams. Exams? What do you think, exam people?
So you're going to look at all of your notes and homework and quizzes.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to give you an idea of what's going to be on your exam so that you can make an outline of the exam to practice. And that just helps you memorize everything because testing, it's a way to keep in the loop in your learning.
Excellent. I do, if you ever take a class from me that's a math class, I give everyone a quiz every day in my exams. I just take all the quizzes and put them together into a big long document, and there's the exam there. So if you can follow along with like point over here, because I have these kids, they have their this is their homework and quizzes, so they get to pick them up. Yeah, I know. Now you're looking forward. You're going to sign up for my classes. So like this person has their old quizzes, and they can just study those. And if they can learn what they did wrong on those quizzes, they'll get an A on the exam, guaranteed. So yeah, make yourself an exam based on the homework, based on the quizzes, and you're going to do well. A couple of things that I have for you and questions for you, and then we're going to just go on to the end because I know that a couple of you want to get over to the game. What is it? Tennis. So we'll do it quickly here. So we've already talked about the T-zone. Okay. Where is it? Oh, I know. So speaking of reading and study, the author provided a short 2-question survey on page 112. 112. There it is. You see it at the top, the numbers 1 through 10. I don't know if you actually did that survey, but when you're doing your reading or you're studying, don't skip over the exercises or the examples in the book. So when you get to something like this, the reason why she has that there is because it is important for understanding the content up and before and after it. And so if you haven't done that, it's just asking, let's see, she asks 2 questions to determine the likelihood a student will begin using the strategies that we just learned. One of them is, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is the difference between what you do currently and the strategies that she describes here? So a 1 would be there's no difference, we just do the same thing. A 10 would be it's very different. And then the second scale is on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you to start using some of the strategies, these strategies that we've been discussing? So if you haven't done that, I encourage you to at least think about your numbers. How much of a difference is there between these sorts of things and what you normally have been doing? And then how motivated are you to make a change? And then once you've done that, read the paragraph. I'm not going to read it to you, but the paragraph here, it's pertinent to your answers. Hopefully that will make you curious to actually read that last paragraph there. Okay. So that's that. Look at this. Michael wanted me to get him out of here so he could sprint. If you run, I think you're going to be okay. Because they always have to, they got to do the national anthem or something at the beginning anyway. So let me reiterate what we're doing for next week. Look at this. We're done a little bit early. I rushed through it. You ask, I deliver. So here is your homework, just to remind you. We have the reading assignment. It's very short. Please do it. It's very important. And then this, you get your choice. You can even do both. I've done both, but you can either choose the YouTube TED Talk or the Silver Dollar Lounge podcast. I'm going to make sure that you told me Journal Entry 5 doesn't exist. I will make it exist right now before I leave this room. Makai's going to bring his book next week. All right, go Hudson. Go to the ball game. The tennis game. I think if you run. You can make it. You'll be sweaty, but it'll be worth it. Go. No, he's watching. His girlfriend or his fiance or maybe his wife. I don't know. Someone.
Do you want us to write our journal entry with support from the video or the reading?
The journal entry?
Yeah, when we do our journal entry, you know how you said you wanted us to give some kind of support?
Oh, well, the journal entry for this week has to do with the